My name's Amanda Lebec. I'm a high school girls wrestling coach out of Mount Lebanon High School in Pittsburgh. I came to that position kind of in a very surprising way. My husband helps with the youth program out in Mount Lebanon, and we had a lot of girls at the youth level who were wrestling, and we had no female leaders in the room, no female coaches in the room. So I just started to learn a little bit about the sport. When we came to have an opportunity to start a girls team, it was happening all over Pennsylvania. We were really excited about it, and a part of the coaching staff, we didn't want to miss the opportunity. So I kind of fell into this incredible role of head coach of girls wrestling. I think for me, the first thing I did was just learn on a very basic level, very fundamental level with small kids. But what happens with girls wrestling, you're kind of teaching the same skills even at a high school level because they're coming in brand new for the most part. One thing you do have to do when you're learning a new sport is you have to participate in it. So I had an opportunity to learn how to wrestle. And so I do that on a fairly frequent basis, whether it's wrestling with some of the girls on my team, wrestling with some different other coaches who are adults, and my 8 and 9-year-old as well. So I think when it all started, we saw our youth girls and trying to build an opportunity for them. We knew that high school girls wrestling was coming. It's the fastest growing high school sport in the country. And so we knew that it was coming. And I think we wanted to establish a place for them to grow into, which is really exciting. And then what happens now is there's 120 colleges and universities that offers women's wrestling. So they can grow into high school wrestling, and then those girls can grow into college wrestling. When it comes to girls wrestling, I think the toughest obstacle that we find is recruitment. Trying to have a girl come out and try wrestling, it's really hard. Girls aren't familiar with that kind of combat. And so finding a way to bring them out is an obstacle that we face for sure. What happens is because women and girls aren't used to being very physical with one another, you don't actually know what you can and can't do. And so learning how to be able to manage yourself, I think learning how to be able to protect yourself if that's something that you need to do, but also feel like, I have some moves and some skills and I have strength that I can use to overcome somebody. And that's what wrestling is. You're overcoming an opponent with your body. And I think that the girls have seen themselves be stronger than they thought they could be. But I think another thing that wrestling really teaches, they will push themselves in a very hard practice. And we'll ask them to push themselves harder than they think they can. But with that, what happens is they kind of train their brain to say, oh, I can actually do very hard things. And from the beginning of a season to the end of a season, you're seeing a transformation of an athlete who is like, oh, I know how to handle myself in this situation and I know how to push. And so that's been really beneficial to see the girls go through that. So I think one of the things is that you have to be really brave and a little vulnerable. You're gonna go out there and it's gonna be like nothing you've ever done before. And that's okay. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Something that you've never been exposed to, you're gonna go out and you're gonna make about 1,000 mistakes, but that's how life is. So it's a great precursor to getting out into the real world. And I would say be brave, be curious, let yourself have fun with it because it is a lot of fun. And you can really enjoy yourself being part of a combat sport. I see the Mount Lebanon Girls High School team growing into a powerhouse in the WPIAL and then also in the state of Pennsylvania. I see our girls are strong, they're tough, they're dedicated, and they really enjoy working. And so I see us growing the current team that we have now into a powerhouse, but then also bringing up the girls behind and filling that through. I'm a strong believer in nobody's ever done growing. So I think growing in a coaching role, growing as a mentor, growing as a leader, and then just seeing where that takes me over the next 5 years probably. In Mount Lebanon, we're looking for any girl that's interested. The nice thing about wrestling is that it is for anybody. We have a spot for you no matter your skill level, your speed level, your size, your weight. It is for anybody. So I think that would be the first thing in Mount Lebanon is that we'd love to have the girls come out and give it a try. If you're interested, get out there. And what you'll find is there's more support for girls in wrestling than people would think. People want the girls on the mat. They wrestle just as well as the boys do when it comes to scoring points and techniques and quickness and things like that. So I think just growing this sport to be as highly competitive as the boys have been over the past 50 years or so. A lot of times when I talk to people oh, you should have your daughter come wrestle. And oh, my daughter would never do it. Or, oh, I would never do it if I say to a young girl, you should come out and try wrestling. Oh, maybe she likes to be girly, or maybe she doesn't like contact sports. She's a tennis player or a swimmer or something like that. But girls can be anything, and I think if they have an interest and I think they're curious about it and they try it, give yourself an opportunity to learn and do something new. You grow the most outside of your comfort zone, and I kind of live outside of my comfort zone, but the challenge is great. And so I feel really fortunate. I do run into those obstacles, maybe not understanding a certain rule. I'm still getting familiar with those, but I have an amazing group of mentor coaches that surround me. So I find that I can meet the challenge, and I have a lot of help, so it's great. My name's Amanda Lebec, and I am a change maker.